Inkyard Press and Harper Audio present Corpse and Crown by Alisa Kwitney. Performed by Saskia Maarleveld. Chapter 1. As the hackney coach approached Buckingham Palace, a full moon broke through the dense fog overhead, casting an eerie greenish glow onto the royal residence. The horses, traveling fast over rain-slicked cobblestones, nearly lost their footing as they cornered sharply, passing the stately east wing, before slowing down and pulling into a smaller servants' entrance. Inside the coach, Agatha DeLacey felt a sudden pang of doubt. What if I forgot something? Opening her medical bag, she took a quick inventory. Stethoscope, thermometer, carbolic acid, a fresh bottle of ichor, along with a glass syringe and needles. All there. Taking a deep breath, Aggie snapped the satchel shut. Seated across from her, Ursula Shearcliffe, the Royal Victoria Hospital's formidable head of nursing, gave her a sharp look. "Everything in order, probationer?" Feigning a confidence she did not feel, Aggie met the older woman's cool grey eyes. "Yes, matron." "Then let us have no more displays of nerves," said Professor Moolsdale, accidentally elbowing Shearcliffe in the ribs as he adjusted his cravat. "You may be a mere nursing student, but tonight you represent our school, and I expect you to comport yourself with complete professionalism." Moolsdale patted his neat salt-and-pepper Van Dyke beard, and then ran his hand down the front of his bulging waistcoat, elbowing Shearcliffe yet again. Shearcliffe thinned her lips and shifted as far from him as she could in the confines of the cramped coach, but said nothing. She did not defer to many people, but Moolsdale was the head of medicine at London's prestigious Academy of Biomechanical Science and Engineering, as well as Queen Victoria's personal physician. He was not the sort of man one wanted to offend, and he was easily offended. Aggie felt a squeeze on her arm. Elizabeth Lavenza, her friend and roommate, was struggling not to laugh. Not wanting to encourage her, Aggie gave a little shake of her head and looked out the window. Lizzie tended to be a rule-breaker by nature. As the school's only female medical student, and one of the few Americans enrolled, she had to be. But Aggie couldn't afford to take any chances. Lizzie had been chosen for this assignment because of her specialized skills, but Aggie was just in the right place at the right time. She could not afford to fail. A moment later, the horses stumbled to a stop, and the carriage door was opened by a young footman. Placing a step-stool in front of the door, he stood ready to assist the first traveler to disembark. Shearcliffe rested her hand on the footman's elbow, as if liveried servants performed this service for her every day. But then, she was not the sort to show weakness, even under duress. Aggie and Lizzie were young and agile enough to clamber out on their own, but Professor Moolsdale, who suffered from gout, required the footman's hand to help lever himself down the steps to the ground. "Right then," said Moolsdale. "Better get a move on. We don't want to keep Her Majesty waiting." "If you are ready," said the footman, "you may follow me inside now." Moolsdale went first, leaning heavily on his walking stick with Shearcliffe right behind him. Aggie reached up to make sure her cap was still properly pinned in place before following them. She'd been fast asleep when Shearcliffe had woken her up and told her to pack for a house call, and now she felt that strange mixture of alertness and disorientation that always seems to come with traveling late at night. Walking beside Aggie, Lizzie stumbled over a loose stone. "Put on your spectacles so you can see where you're going," whispered Aggie. "No need, I'm fine," replied Lizzie. There was a scrape of gravel as Shearcliffe turned to give both girls a reproving look. "I don't think I need to remind either of you, but a very great deal depends on what happens tonight. If things do not go well, Miss Lavenza, you may find yourself on a ship heading back to the—"
Sample complete. Ready to continue?